Manuel Boucher playing against Terry So got an Emiria Angel into play. Can't draw a land.
Oh, no.
Like 4 turns. No birds accompanying the 3/3 Angel.
It's such an upside-down world we live in Zendikar.
Why can't I draw lands? Mirroring Angel's a card that has looked great to me all weekend.
Yeah, it's one of the big breakout stars of this weekend. It's not a card we're seeing in a lot of standard decks.
Right.
And, mono-white decks are running it.
Yep.
Green-white decks were running it.
Yep.
Bant decks were running it.
All true.
Decks, just really shines with Honor of the Pure. It's a 4/4 for 4 under an Honor of the Pure and, makes 2/2 tokens.
Mm-hmm. I've also, Johnny is quite good with it as well. Johnny, regular Johnny.
Right. A Johnny Gold.
Everybody getting +1/+1 counters. Yeah. I saw Antoine Ruel playing that. Yeah, some combination of Honor of the Pure, Johnny, or even just on its own. I mean,
yeah, it's fine on its own.
3/3 flyer, play a fetch land, crack it. Suddenly I've got 2 more blockers. You can attack, you can block.
It's the same reasoning behind the Ranger of Eos, right? It's still like you get these extra creatures for free.
Right. And I've seen a lot of people think that's apparently the way to go to try to beat Jund. Right. There were a lot of different takes on essentially white decks. Most of them were green-white. I mean, Cavalieri is actually mono-white.
Is he okay?
But, I mean, green-white
okay.
gives you Knight of Reliquary to go with your Emiria Angel, which is something I was very impressed by. I mean, suddenly, Knight of Reliquary, you sack a land. Okay, that triggers landfall. Of course, you get a fetch land so that you can trigger it again. Oh, wow, but it sounds like Cavalieri has actually taken the Emiria Angels out of his deck, sideboarding here.
Sounds like he also took out the Step Lynxes.
Why did he take out Angel?
Probably
2 in the board right now.
He only has 2 main.
Yeah, he took out both his Angels.
Probably brought in the 2 Soul Wardens, felt that they were more important.
Yeah, but isn't Angel just good? He took out his Marshall Coup as well.
It probably does not feel like he has time.
Huh.
21.
Yeah,
so he brought in Journey to Nowhere.
He put in the Elspeths, it sounds like. All right, well, there's a Soul Warden.
Brought in Journey to Nowhere.
And
2
Elite Vanguard on the
Elspeths.
other side.
2 Soul Wardens.
Ooh, double Soul Warden.
Nope, triple
Soul Warden.
Get a little cheer from the Italian crowd.
The Italian crowd is very happy to see that.
And then 24. Yes.
Cavalieri at 24 and climbing. Terry So now up 2-0 against Manuel Boucher. Booker's inability to find a land to go with his Emiria Angel really cost him dearly. And Terry's got a 2-0 lead. Only needs to win one of the next 3 to go to the semis.
So Terry So has been as far as a 3rd in a Pro Tour before.
Andre Coimbra equalizes his match against Marin Lebert. Double Ruin Blaster. Blowing up a couple of non-basics. Quite good against the Jund player. So Coimbra and Lebert tied at a game apiece.
Yeah, I really like Mike's package of the Ruin Blasters going up to 4 Johnnies post board against
Mike Flores, who
yeah.
designed Andre Coimbra's deck.
So many of the decks with the
Soul Warden
come into play tap lands. It's just the Ruin Blaster is just brutal.
Sure. So Brahm got in an attack with his Elite Vanguard. Cavalieri chose not to block. Brahm picked off 1 Soul Warden with a Burst Lightning. Yeah, now here's White Knight. So 2/2 First Striker, which is a pretty quality creature in this matchup, and 2 life from the 2 Soul Wardens. Fetch land from Cavalieri, but no landfall. Feels almost disappointing. It's like, I'm using my fetch land. It's just a fetch land. What's the point of that? Brahm's hand.
Looks like Brahm also brought in an Elspeth.
I could go either way, Scott. I kind of want to get those guys on camera. They are 2 of the bigger names. I'm definitely always going to go there after this. But
So Brahm is looking at playing a he has the option of playing either an Oblivion Ring this turn or Core Skyfisher and replay his Elite Vanguard. Have 4 life.
I think you might Oblivion Ring Soul Warden. I mean, am I misunderstanding how powerful that is? I mean, last game we saw him just play through it, and eventually got so many creatures with the Rangers that he was able to deal, what was it, probably 30-some damage by the end of the game. No Rangers in this draw for Braum. It's going to be an Elspeth game. I mean, that's his powerful card, right?
Sounds like after this game we're going to check in on the Terry So Manuel Boucher match, which is 2-0 in favor of Terry So at this point.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think Terry So's experience in being in the top 8 already?
It's got to help, right? A little more comfortable. He's been on stage. He's been on camera. Thing is, so has Boucher. I mean, right. Boucher lifted hardware on a World Sunday stage, right? Yeah. World's team champions, part of that Switzerland team. I don't know, that was a couple years ago. This is his first individual top 8.
Sure.
Probably feels a little different.
Thinking.
All right, so Braum cracked a fetch land. Now, it's essentially got Oblivion Ring and Skyfisher as his options. Goes for the Oblivion Ring, points it out of Soul Warden.
Okay.
I like that play. I mean, I think that's the right play. Vanguard, of course, forced to stay back because of the first striking White Knight on the other side of the table. Braum is essentially setting up to play this as an Elspeth game. Although even there, I mean, the first striking White Knight's a problem for Elspeth as well. I guess Skyfisher and block is your plan.
We've not seen Honor the Pure at all from Cavalieri yet.
How many does he run?
4.
That seems like a good card. All right, Cavalieri gets in for 2 with his White Knight. Braum's at 15. Teetering Peaks and attack with Vanguard.
4, now we pick up
Skyfisher and pick up Teetering Peaks? Or Skyfisher and pick up Vanguard? I think you pick up Teetering Peaks, right?
Teetering Peaks, yeah, for sure. You love it, you've drafted it.
What do you want? Go.
Is 50, Cavalieri 21.
Alright, Cavalieri's still 21, though. The triple Soul Warden draw has bought him plenty of time. We saw Braum win in the mid-game last time, though. I mean, Cavalieri needs something. He's not going to... Just White Knight's not going to get it done, right? Cracks his fetch land.
We're going to see Elspeth...
Oh, do both players have Elspeth? I haven't gotten a good look at Cavalieri's hand. I know Braum's got Elspeth, Bushwhacker, Teetering Peak, Scalding Tarn.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we see a Ranger.
No, Ranger Vios. Yeah, both players have the Ranger as their card advantage engine.
I ran out.
Yeah, I mean, how much Ranger has there been in Standard?
I mean, Ranger's been a big part of the Zoo decks. It's huge in the Boros stack.
Well, I mean, obviously it's been around for a while. It just feels like there's been this shift into White as a reaction against Jund.
Yeah, I mean the card advantage it offers is just critical in these.
Yeah, and somehow White is the card advantage color right now, right?
Did he just fail to? He only has 1 soul ward.
Since today...
Oh, he took out his Step Links. Is he really out of 1-drops?
Draft. I sacrificed my only Swamp to Arrow, and then I found out I sideboard out the second. Oh. I better triple check.
Yeah, I think he's out of 1-drops. Sideboarded out the Step Links. His deck is 2 Soul Ward and 4 Step Links as the 1-drops in the main. Yeah, only 4. Drew 3 of them natural, so that Ranger of Eos gets the 1 Soul Warden, and that's it.
So, drafting invitational cards. What order does Ranger of Eos go in?
What's the format?
Just drafting. Picking the best cards.
Yeah, it's really interesting how important Ranger of Eos is to this top 8 on the weekend where Antoine Ruel gets inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very fitting, right? I think Bob and Meddling Mage, Dark Confidant and Meddling Mage are the 2 best invitational cards. I mean, they're both interesting designs. They both play well. They're both, fairly original as designs. I think Ranger of Eos is number 3.
I think it's number 3 and right up there with them.
Sorry?
It's a cool card. It's definitely a cool card.
I'm at 20 now. For this.
Lost 1 for a fetch to get out to 20 to 21.
I have them 21.
I mean, maybe it's just the spike in me. I think, Dark Confidant is so powerful. And it's also, Dark Confidant plays so well. I mean, it's just this interesting, like, oh, now I can kill you with your own card, kind of. Just creates these interesting situations.
I think John Finkel would love to win another invitation. I think he feels a little excluded from that club. I mean, Shadow Mage Infiltrator is certainly a card that we've seen. I've seen some tournament play, but it's not in this class.
It wasn't even the best blue-black card in its set, right?
Yeah.
The best wasn't the best 3-mana blue-black creature in its set. Psychotog gets that honor.
Actually, I wish I had 6 of those.
Cavalier says, I wish I had 6 of these. Pointing to his Soul Warden.
My deck would be better with 6 of some cards as well.
And it's just a tiny 1/1.
Mine is just a tiny 0/1.
Cavalier, he is bracing himself for 4 in the air from...
Yeah, he's probably expecting Teetering Peak Skyfisher.
But instead he's going to see
14.
Elspeth or Ranger of Eos, and just see a little bit of a replay of last game where Grom just sets up his very, very powerful
Rangers
with the
into a big
Boros
Bushwhacker
deck.
turn.
Doesn't matter.
That's game 3, Rich? Or was that the way game 2 went? That was game. Is that game over? Okay.
Sounds like on the back tables, Andre Coimbra's up 2-1. Goblin Ruin Blaster is just devastating the Jund mana base.
Yeah, a pair of Rune Blasters in that game 3, and so Coimbra leads 2-1.
Again, one of the keys to that deck that's been called Nile Lightsaber is that it has its mana all comes into play. Ideally, comes into play untapped.
I kind of wanted to get those guys on camera too. I don't know. We're supposed to hold them as well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
22.
Yes.
And there's Ranger of Eos again. So we're going to see 2 Step Lynxes. Seemingly working backwards against the Soul Warden.
Headed to game 4. They're so far ahead.
It's a pair of Step Lynxes.
Do you think that's better than going Elspeth here?
20.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw how powerful how explosive his board is, especially with a dual land where he has suddenly 5/5 hasty Step Lynxes.
21.
He's doing it into double Soul Warden this time, though.
Yeah.
And there's Journey to Nowhere. So Skyfisher is gone.
Your turn.
Conqueror's Pledge here from William would be 12 life. 6 creature swing.
Yeah, I mean, Brahms Rangers just seem so much better than Cavalieris.
Oh, I mean, if you only have the 4 Soul Wardens to get.
Right, but I mean, even if he'd gotten, like, a random Step Links, I mean, Brahm is able to set up for such powerful turns with the Bushwhacker. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Cavalieri really needs Conqueror's Pledge or something big.
And Honor the Pure would be nice also.
Oh, jeez. Reitbauer, the Jund player on the back matchup against Pills. Bituminous Blast into Bloodbraid, into Lightning Bolt, and he's got a 2-0 lead now. So Reitbauer beats Florian Pills and threatening a semifinal, the Austrian player.
So give 6 life to Cavalieri over for Steplinks, Bushwhacker, Teetering Peaks.
That's a lot of damage.
Send everybody in.
Yeah, send everybody.
Something's going to get first struck to death.
2, 3,
Right.
2, 3,
Probably the Vanguard or the Ranger. Right, 1 first striker for Cavalieri. So we've got everybody is +1/+0 thanks to the Bushwhacker. That means that is a 4-2 Ranger of Eos. I gotta think that's the one that gets first struck down. The Elite Vanguard is 3-1. I think you trade somebody for that. Either Ranger or potentially Soul Warden. The Bushwhacker is a 2-1. The Steplinks are 3-3s. Who got Teetering Peaks? Steplinks?
The Goblin Bushwhacker was Teetering Peaks.
Oh, okay, so it makes the Bushwhacker 4-1. Looks like Ranger in front of Ranger. First striking White Knight in front of Elite Vanguard, so that would be taking 3, 6, 10.
He's at 27.
He is at 27. I mean, the Soul Wardens have definitely bought him a bunch of life.
Yeah. He's not willing to...
So I go to 17.
Not willing to put the
Save
Soul
for-
Wardens.
yep.
Right, he could trade a Soul Warden for 4 life and a Bushwhacker. But Cavalieri not interested.
Took 10 there.
And I think I see why. 2 different copies of Conqueror's Pledge in Cavalieri's hand. That's why he wants to hold on to those Soul Wardens.
24 life.
That sounds good.
But he needs another land.
Yeah, the thing that is not in Cavalieri's hand is a land. He's got a Celestial Purge that can potentially kill red things. And 2 copies of Conqueror's Pledge. 17 life left for Cavalieri. We see Brahms' hand, by the way, is another Teetering Peaks and that Elspeth.
12.
Yeah, Soul Warden's head into the red zone. If he's not going to attack, if he's not willing to block with them, let's get in some damage. That'll drop Bram to 12.
This actually could be a pretty big. This is a pretty big turn for Brahm here, right?
Teetering Peaks plus Elspeth. Somebody heads to the air.
+5 in the air.
Oh, is that a fetch land?
That is no. That it looks like another Ranger of Eos.
Oh, another Ranger. Oh, wow. So he's got options. Well, it basically comes down to do you Elspeth here or do you play Ranger? There's a first striker on defense, so he can't really attack. Oh, wow. Game 4, Liebert versus Coimbra. Liebert keeps a 6-lander because he's been smashed by Ruin Blaster in back-to-back games. Could actually work out. Like, the land-heavy draw is often good against land destruction. All right, Brahm decides that Elspeth is the right play. Elspeth and Teetering Peaks. So that Steplinks is gigantic, right?
7.
The landfall makes it 2 power. The
7.
Peaks is 4. Elspeth makes it 7. Yeah.
12.
Crunch. 7 power flyer. Cavalieri down to 10. Desperately needs a land and needs it more or less right here. Well, purge away the Bushwhacker. Makes sense. All right. Cavalieri needs a land. Draws. Not a land. That is bad news.
How many cards again?
1 card.
White Knight good against John, not so much against the Steplinks, especially a flying Steplinks.
Yeah. I don't know. Cavalieri probably has another turn, right? I don't know how much the Ranger can do. We know Brahm can Ranger for Bushwhacker.
Gains 2 life here, goes up to 12.
Yeah, that helps.
Both players at 12.
Yeah, 12 to piece. It's tied, right?
Yep. But Ranger of Eos represents a 6 additional life for Cavalieri.
But it also represents a big Bushwhacker coming
Sure.
turn.
Let's attack.
All right, Cavalieri
Elspeth.
attacks Elspeth for 4. Brahm can just let it go down to 1. That seems reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems fine. All right, now what? Brahm draws. Don't know. Fetch land. Brahm draws fetch land. Wow. Now do you Ranger into Bushwhacker, play fetch land. The step links are gigantic. Somebody goes to the air. Oh, he can get step links Bushwhacker. Right, play the step links, then fetch land. So 3 step linkses will get double pumped. Wow. Yeah, this is a huge turn.
Can he get Cavalieri from 18 though? Which is where he'll be at the end of this sequence.
Right. Yeah, step links Bushwhacker.
So that's 10 from the step linkses. I assume the Ranger of Eos is going to be flying.
Yeah, I assume. There's the step links. Now here
15 from the
comes
step linkses.
here comes the bad news for Cavalieri. Fetch land. Oof. And crack it.
Am I dead?
11?
So all 3 step linkses are 5 power. Obviously Bram's going to get a mountain, which will allow him to play the Bushwhacker with the kicker. Cavalieri will gain 2 more from 16 up to 18. But then, yeah. So that's going to be
I'm not sure if you thought that.
6, 12, 18,
Or you can just
22,
play
23, 24 power. Elspeth makes it 27 power.
He's going to absorb 5 with the White Knight, I assume, chump blocking.
Yeah, I think this is
step
lethal.
links.
So now
But
they
you
are
still have-
4, 4, 5.
I think this is
I don't know
lethal.
that he has an out here.
No, I mean I think we might be done.
2 more.
Bushwhacker with the kicker. Like those step linkses are 6 power, right?
They're 5 power.
5
Plus
power.
2, plus 2, and then plus 1 from the Bushwhacker. Is
Okay,
5.
5, 10, 15. Cavalieri picks up a planes. He's clearly telegraphing path, which for the record means he does not have it. Right? There's no way he picks up that planes if he actually has the path in his hand. I don't know how good of a poker player Brahm is, but that's a pretty clear tell.
Brahm doesn't even
If he's acting strong, he's weak. Like nobody picks up the planes if they
I don't
actually
know,
have path.
Bram's,
Bram's a little nervous about it. I mean, I think it's Ranger, right? Isn't it pretty clearly Ranger?
yes.
Ranger's the one that can get first struck down, so you send Ranger to the
Or
air.
it becomes a 7 in the air. You just have to, another 11 has to get through, which is showing on the board. Yeah.
Which one?
Yep. He says, nope, I don't believe you have the path, or if
Yep.
you have the path, I don't care. Cavalieri touches his
Hand
plates
over, touching
again,
over the planes, threatening it. Does not happen.
wishing
All
for
right.
it.
The biggest of all I can
So
block.
he
Yes.
can block a 5. That's 5, 10, 17, 18, 19.
17.
19.
Yeah, Cavalieri's got nothing. Wow. God, those Rangers are just awesome.
Yes.
Brahm Stepfangers wins game 2, able to set up another incredible turn with Rangers just into step linkses and Bushwhackers. So Brahm Stepfangers takes a 2-0 lead. The hometown hero, William Cavalieri, back against the wall. He's got to run off 3 straight if he's going to keep the locals happy.
We've seen it happen before.
We have seen it happen before, but we're also going to try to get some other people on camera. So let's go check out the other quarterfinal match between Terry So and Manuel Boucher.
In the words of Hirun Remy,
Yeah?
Ram Bram, thank you, ma'am.
Prepare to get bamboozled. I think that was the other line I saw. All right. In this match between Booker and So, Booker leads with a Triland. So leads with a Noble Hierarch. Misty Rainforest for Booker. All right, walk us through this deck matchup, Ryan.
So Terry So is playing Naya. He has
And it's his brother's take on Naya, right? I mean, he's credited Malaysian national champ this year, Joe So, with building this deck, testing it. Terry had exams at schools, who essentially trusted in the work of his brother, came to Worlds partially to hang out with his brother, who was on the Malaysian national team this year. Oh, and we have our first quarterfinalist. The 6-lander does not work out for Marin Barrett, so he fails to advance to out of the quarterfinals for the third time in 3 top 8 appearances.
The Dutch-speaking Belgians continues.
Yeah, the curse of the Dutch-speaking Belgians. So Andre Coimbra is through to the semis. Naya Lightsaber. Mike Flores designed it to beat Jund. Andre Coimbra said, Mike has never steered me wrong, and Mike didn't steer him wrong. Coimbra through to the semis.